Okay guys, so for this problem I had to find any unknown sides or angles, and in this case I know all the sides but I know none of the angles. So because I have all the sides, I know that I'll have to do the law of cosines, and let's try find x first. Okay, so since we're trying to find x first, we're going to use a formula cosine x equals y squared plus z squared minus x squared over 2yc. Okay, so, and for instance, if this angle is y, then y squared in the formula corresponds to the side length that's opposite to where the angle letter is kind of placed. So it will end up being cosine x equals 16 squared plus z opposite side is 14 squared minus x opposite side 19 squared all over 2 times 16 times 14 when we're trying to find for angle x. Okay, now let's plug this in the calculator. Mm. 16 squared plus 14 squared plus, 2 minus 19 squared. That equals 91. Not sure that's too clear. There you go. Okay, and then the bottom, 2 times 16 times 14.0 over 448. So then we get this kind of equation for angle x. So then that would end up equaling cosine x equals 1 over 448. But since we're trying to find x, which is the angle, we're going to have to do the inverse. So x is going to equal cosine -1, 91 over 448. Okay, let's try that. Cosine 91 over 448. And we get 78.28 for x. Alright, so now we have one angle. So now we have to do the other angle. So it's kind of basically like the same idea. So now let's try to find y. And we're going to start with cosine y equals x squared plus z squared minus y squared all over 2x and z. And same as last example, the side lengths for the x, z, and y correspond to the opposite of like the named angles. So then, for instance, y equals 19 squared plus 14 squared minus 16 squared. Okay, all over 2 times 19 times 14. Alright, and then that equals, calculator, 19 squared plus 14 squared, okay, whatever, minus 16 squared, 301, so let's write 01, now 2 times 19 times 14 is 532. Okay, And so since now we have, I guess, the equation, we do cosine y equals 3 over 1 over 5, 3, 2. But since we're trying to find for y, we have to do the inverse of cosine. So that's basically going to be, oh wait, not equals. Equals y. It's our calculator. Inverse cosine 3 over 1 over 532, and we get that y equals 55.54. Okay, so now let's solve for z. So all right, then plus okay, so same deal. We're gonna plug this in the calculator. 16 squared plus 19 squared minus 14 squared going to be 421 over 2 times 16 times 19, 608. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, so then we're gonna do not equals. Sorry about that. 421 over 608. And the calculator is gonna give us going to give us that x equals 45.9 degrees. All these are degrees. Okay. So now we found our angles. Sorry, this is z. Sorry. So now in order to find our angles and make sure that they are the correct angles, we're going to try to see if they follow the 180 degree rule. So 45.9 plus 55.54 plus 78.28 is almost 179.72. So I'm just going to assume that my rounding was a bit off, and that's why the angles add up to 179.72. But that's basically the general idea. Thank you. Also, I don't think I was super clear, but the formulas kind of change depending on what angle you're trying to find. For instance, in this scenario, we're trying to find angle x. So we would subtract side 19 squared, and that kind of like follows according with all the formulas, and you only use it one time, which is like during the subtraction, the side that corresponds to the angle that you're trying to find.